Welcome to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. The Alumni podcast where you get to hear the inspiring stories and transformation that DVC has had to offer its alumni. And now, on with the episode.
So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. And we are live here on DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Shahar Palter, and I am an international student here at DVC. I'm 22 years old, and this is actually my first semester here.
Okay, cool. So you're an international student. Where do you hail from?
Well, I was originally born in Israel, and when I was around 4 years old, my family decided to move to the Bay Area because my mom's sister lived there, and they wanted to change. So we made the move, and I basically lived here since I was 4 years old. But unfortunately, we never were able to obtain citizenship. My parents were here on an E2 business visa, which means that you have to renew it every 5 years, and it was never a pathway for citizenship.
So where in the Bay Area did you grow up?
I originally went to Oakland Hebrew Day School from kindergarten to second grade, and then which was El Cerrito.
Okay.
And then from third grade to eighth grade, we moved to Lafayette, where I went to Contra Costa Jewish Day School. And then I attended Aquinas High School.
Okay.
In Lafayette. Yeah.
So what was that like? I mean, going from El Cerrito to Lafayette, because they're a little bit different, socioeconomically and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, granted, I was very young, so I was not, aware, but I did go back to obviously El Cerrito a couple years ago, after COVID, just to see it. And I really let's just say I mean, my dad is one of the people I look up to the most. And I mean, both my parents, obviously, but my dad.
When you were young, you were much taller than you, but
No, but my dad, in terms of getting us out of that situation when we first come to this country, from El Cerrito to, Lafayette, is very, very successful. And yeah, I mean, I thank him very, very much for that.
So what does your dad do?
Wholesale. He did wholesaling.
Okay.
Actually, he still does it now. I mean, now my family live in Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll get to that part.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So, but what is he like a...
With sunglasses originally.
Okay.
He was actually one of the biggest suppliers for Walgreens for sunglasses.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
In the whole North Bay Area.
Do you have any idea how he got in that? I mean, so I know from business that when you look at it at one spot, it looks super random, but I'm sure that there was a path that got him there. Are you familiar with this path or?
I will networking, but obviously making friends with the Israelis. Obviously, we're very small community, us, Jews and Israelis, very small. So getting to know the people here and making connections through the people here. He actually met one of his best friends till this day, and they started it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when his friend decided to move back to Israel with his family, his friend gave my dad the company, and he ran with it.
Okay, well, and it's so one of my big things that I preach on a lot is, and I am get a little preachy about it, it's about the value of networking, and your dad obviously is speaking that, and it sounds like you're learning that lesson too.
Yes.
So and we'll get to that part. So you moved from El Cerrito to Lafayette, and I know when we're second grade, we're not super aware of and it's not till later, but it's so growing up in Lafayette, what was that like?
Lafayette was amazing. I made my best friends to this day. I met at that Contra Costa Jewish Day School. Growing up there, it was such a safe bubble too. Really no care in the world. When I moved out of Lafayette and I moved, we'll get to eventually to Amsterdam, and just in general around the U.S., I realized just how different it was and how I was so fortunate growing up in that area and going to that school. And even Aquinas is great school. I was very fortunate to have that.
Yeah. So So you went from this small bubble to Auckland's, which must have been a bit of an adjustment.
Yes.
So what was that like? Because it's like you go from this like little teeny, there's 28 of you or whatever it is. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but there's 28 folks. You've been with them for a while, and so you know them really well. And then all of a sudden you're dumped into this environment where it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you asked that, because we had, I believe, 18 kids in my class.
So 20.
Like you weren't, you weren't even kidding, right? So yeah, you knew them since 3rd grade to 8th grade, and then fortunately enough for me, one of my best friends went with me to Akalani, so I had that. However, the big thing for me, because obviously it was extremely overwhelming, like the whole public school system.
Yeah.
I started playing football in the summer, and I made a group of friends during the summer right before freshman year of high school started. So luckily I was able to make some friends there. So then when school did start, I had like friends. So I was lucky that, I had that, but it was still the first like couple months very overwhelming with just how many people, like the amount of students that were attending the entire kindergarten through 8th grade of Contra Costa Jewish Day School was the equivalent of one grade, like one 9th grade class in Akalani's, like the entire level. So it was overwhelming for sure.
Well, yeah, and I know that it's even when, like, I've been networking for 40 years, but even then it's like I go into an environment, if I don't know anybody, man, it is, you got to kind of suck up your courage and go talk to that guy. And I can't imagine as a freshman walking into that environment, and that must have been tough. But it's so you were playing football, just like fun football in the morning?
Well, I was, no, for like the team.
Oh,
the school
cool.
team, the school team. So there were like practices during the summer. And
how did you find out about that?
Well, I was always, basketball is my favorite sport. It's the sport that I was playing since I was 6 years old. It's my main sport. However, I always loved football. And obviously, one of the disadvantages of, growing up in a private school in such a small school is that there's no like other sports. It was really just basketball, and soccer maybe, which I played both, which was very fun. However, I always wanted to try and play football because football was, since, I was very like 6 years old, like I've been watching NFL football like every Sunday, since a very early age. So I always wanted to try. And I was so excited going to a high school, they actually have a team. So I went for it right away. And,
Wow. Okay. So did you make the team or?
Yeah, I did. I did. Obviously I'm way better at basketball than I am football, but it was, again, a great opportunity, more so for, I would say, networking, but just making friends. It was just making friends, and making the transition.
Yeah, and for me, it's like networking is such a formalized thing, is so schmaltzy. It's just like ew. But I look at it as an opportunity more to make friends, because the thing is that's the thing that's going to pay off for you down the road.
Yes,
and so like you use that as an opportunity to so you didn't show up as the only kid, and because I think there's probably several thousand kids go to Yeah, it's a big school. So you're at Auckland's and you're adapting and stuff like that. What was that experience like?
Well, I would say it was a better transition than what I expected it to be. I was very overwhelmed. Like I remember the first even week of school, I didn't even use my locker. I just put everything. I just took everything in my backpack because I was just there's no way I can get to this class from this class across campus. Because for me, obviously in a private school, all the classes are literally back to back, and rush in time. And then when I saw my schedule and I saw how many classes there are, I just didn't use my locker. I did not. I had everything in my backpack, and I was walking around, trying to find where everything was. But after the first couple of weeks, I got adjusted and I was able to use my locker and all that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. When I was in high school, it's for some reason, my freshman year, my locker ended up at the other end of the school. All my classes were at this end. And I was just really. So I put stuff in there at the beginning of the year, and at the end of the year, I cleared them out. And that was pretty much what I used it for, is to store stuff between the beginning and the end. So when you were at Auckland's, what was your favorite part about Auckland's?
Well, I was very fortunate to have one of my childhood best friends go with me. So that was helpful. And again, I made also another group of friends from football. So I had a group of friends going in, which is great. My favorite part, the teachers were really nice. Like for the most part, like I was very fortunate to have good teachers, especially for like my English classes, which helped me, develop, my love for writing essays and just English in general. So I was fortunate to have that. And then just the people were honestly like, I had like looking back at it now, obviously not at the time as much, but looking back at it now, the classes themselves with my classmates were really fun.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, some people have very fond memories of high school. Some don't. I mean, mine, I'm kind of indifferent,
Yeah.
But it sounds like you had a pretty good high school. So you went from there and then you moved out of the country.
Yeah. So there was, well, actually, I was, during COVID.
Yeah.
I actually started my own business.
Oh.
Yes. And I got it successful enough to the point where I thought I didn't need college. So my grades really started to slip the second semester of junior year and then all of senior year. My grades were not good because I didn't focus on school. I was focusing on my business and just making money. And I thought to myself, if I can make money while I sleep, why would I need to go to school? And that's why initially I did not go to college or was not thinking of college at all for the first 2 years.
What kind of business was it?
Well, I started off from sneaker reselling. So I would like Jordans and he's like buying these limited sneakers and flipping them for double, triple, the price and taking profit from that. And I would have like these like bots and like programs on my computer where it would allow me to buy like 20 pairs, 30 pairs like of these shoes when they dropped.
Did you write the bots yourself or?
No, I didn't. I bought the program. I didn't like code from scratch. No, but it involved a lot of learning, and like these drops would happen at like 4, 5, 7 a.m. So there would be some sleepless nights where you have to set up everything before, because when the drop is live, like if you mess up like one setting or 2 settings, you're screwed because these things sell out within seconds.
Wow.
So within seconds and even minutes. So it's like. It was a lot, but it worked. And then what I did was I started, then COVID happened and stocks were in crypto were my main focus after seeing that whole crash and then that V-shaped recovery. I was very intrigued in that. So I took my profits from that company and basically just started investing. So I've been investing in stocks and crypto for over 5 years now.
Oh.
So that's what I've been doing. And then I took 2 to 3 years to think about school. And like I said, initially, I did not want to, but then I realized just how the importance of education is. And I decided that I wanted to go back to school.
Okay.
Regardless.
So you're now, and I like that you saw something and then you've transitioned to something. Basically, you pivoted. It's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I take it you're not investing short term.
No, only long term. It was only like mid to long term. It was never day trading because, in my opinion, that's gambling, and I don't
think it's that lucky.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't do that. It was always like Tesla, Amazon, Google. It wasn't like these like crazy, I mean, sometimes, but it was very small percentage. It was the majority of the time you're talking about Bitcoin and then Ethereum. That's it for crypto. And then for stocks, it would be like Amazon, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Tesla, all that stuff.
What do you use to gain your information on what you're hunting as far as stocks go? Do you I mean, I take it you're still actively managing a portfolio.
Yeah.
So how do you like watch the news, or do you have?
Yeah, I would always watch CNBC, like always. I would always watch that, articles on like Yahoo Finance, but also like YouTube and like just everything. I would take all the resources and tools that I had. So social media, the news, and just like straight up thoughts, my own thoughts about the company and take all of that into consideration. I wouldn't like stick to like one outlet, one like source, because I think like that's not.
Well, it's like day trading.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, and it sounds like you have like a well-rounded hunt for what you're looking for with your information, which,
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with any news is you got to get, and I'd like to say we're sponsored by Ground News, but we're not.
See, they're great.
Oh, I love Ground News, and it's like maybe no, I'm not going to put a link in the chat. It's like, but yeah, to that point, it sounds like you've developed like your own system. So we're on a little bit of a sidetrack, but I want it. So how do you digest the news? Because I know I used to like completely ignore the news until one time I had a boss. This is decades and decades ago, and he gets the Wall Street Journal every day. And I asked him, I said, "You don't read the newspaper every day?" He goes, "Yes, I do." And he had a very specific system on how he did it. He would scan it. And he would look at the little sidebar, which had like little sniglets of stuff. And then if something was interesting, he'd pull that out. And then he would like basically look at the headlines in the first paragraph. But he had a system. And I went, oh, that's how you do it. So now with all the other stuff, do you have like a kind of like a system that you use? I mean, as far as like a structure that you use for digesting the news, or you just kind of go with?
I follow like technical analysis. Through learning it through YouTube and just like, just learning the skill of it. I feel like that helped me a lot. And then also when it lines up with the news, which I use as well. So you can combine the two because people, like it's very dangerous to go down one path. It was like, oh, only technical analysis or only news. So I would combine technical analysis and then also just like the news and also just, again, my own personal thoughts. And it was always like mid to long term. It was never really short term. Like the majority of the time was always long term training. So yeah, I mean that's really what it was.
Wow.
So I combine those.
Well, and that shows great self insight because I think most folks are,
short term only. Yeah.
Well, it's like, oh man, if I only had, and then I could sell, and it's just like, dude, that's not how this works. It's like Warren Buffett buys companies, and I mean things like he bought railroads. He bought a couple of railroads, and it was because that he saw that with the struggles with shipping and infrastructure, he thought that. And of course, Warren Buffett usually makes the right. But he also started off with pretty much nothing. He was, busting coffee and stuff.
I mean, I also remember what he said, which is time in the market beats time in the market, because I mean, that's where I learned that from, where in terms of it's always better to DCA in and dollar cost average in and then dollar cost average out. And not to, another thing that I learned, obviously it took me 3 years for this, is not to let your emotions play. Like you need to be like a robot, because your emotions, when something goes down or up, always gets the better of you. Yeah, exactly. Like every time, even now, like it happens.
Yeah.
But then you got to look at the bigger picture and look at why you're investing in this particular company or, crypto. And if something fundamentally didn't change, then you shouldn't be worried. And you can always dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out.
So you have a tool to kind of like check your emotions. Because I read this great article, which I love, and I've known this for a lot of years, and like I've been in sales forever. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing? Yeah. But I know that we make emotional decisions.
Yes.
And so there's like this, the article is great. It talked about we have two brains, right? There's two of us. And there's the emotional one and there's the analytical one. And the problem is the emotional one almost invariably wins. And it sounds like you've developed a structure and tools to be able to keep the emotional one in check.
Yes.
And how long did that take you to do?
Must have been at least like 3
I'm sure
years.
You're still working on it.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. But it must have been at least 3 years, like 2, I would say, like bear market cycles. It must have been 3 years for sure.
So for those that don't know, bear market is when, oh man, everything's everything's tanking and, everybody's
and then you want to sell, you want to panic sell instead of buy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it was Warren Buffett or maybe somebody else says that, you should be brave when others are scared and then be prudent when others are brave.
It was something where it's like blood on the streets too, like is when you want to buy, and then like It's like be greedy when others are fearful, and then fearful when others are greedy. Exactly.
And it's hard to do when you don't
very
have,
difficult to do.
But it's so you kept you mentioned a couple of times, and we'll get to the rest of your story. I'm just all excited.
Oh,
I'm like, so you got dollar cost averaging. So talk about how that works.
Well, I would recommend that to anyone.
So again, we're going to do the really short version because I'm sure it's much.
Yeah. We're going to do the short version. So essentially, I would recommend it to everyone because what it is it allows dollar cost averaging allows you to take your money and invest it over time. Whether you want to buy the same stock, let's say you have $1,000, instead of putting it all in at once, you can split it and do $100 every week, every month. And then what you get is you get the average, yearly average price of that stock. And then you don't have to worry if it, goes down a lot or goes up a lot. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't need to, it's off your mind because you'll know that you'll get the most conservative price of that asset. And it's the absolute safest thing to do. And then the opposite goes for when you want to sell and take profit. You want a dollar cost average out because you never know.
Really?
You keep going out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that way you don't have that instant regret. Oh, exactly. I should have hung on.
Yeah, because that's what happens. Like I can't even tell you multiple times where I sold the stock at, I don't know, $100 and then it went to $150. Right. So it's, again, you can't, it's like Buffett said, it's timing. Time in the market is better than timing the market.
Yeah. Well, nobody can time the market.
Exactly. No one.
Yeah. It says everybody's got a system and none of them will work. It's kind of like that. It's like betting the ponies.
No, honestly, yeah. It took me a long time to realize that. Yeah. But it's true. Like it's just,
So you have this, I mean, and I'm sure it's a much more sophisticated tool than you just kind of broke it down because, it's like we don't have, we don't have 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's the idea being is that it gives you that check against that emotional monster that sits there and wants to set everything on fire.
Yes. And like any swan events that may occur, like any ridiculous news that comes out that affects the price immediately.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what a swan event is, a black swan event.
Yeah, black swan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when that, like
COVID.
9/11, COVID, things like that. Yeah. And everybody looks backwards. Oh my gosh. And we should have not. Yeah. It's like, no, you didn't. It's just, no, you didn't, okay. So this is really interesting.
Okay.
And actually you should be talking with Chris Lane, who's in our office today.
Okay.
He's got a club here on campus. Are you a member of any of the clubs?
Jewish Student Union. And then I went to a couple of the econ clubs.
Okay. So he's got an investing club that you should definitely chat with because it sounds like he's a pretty sophisticated investor and sounds like you're definitely probably on par with that. Certainly way beyond my investment. That's my wife and I have investments and we kind of hand it off to somebody.
Exactly.
We're not that, So you did this during COVID and then somewhere in there, your family moved to Amsterdam. Did you go with them or?
Well, initially I was planning on staying because I was also, on top of what I was doing, I was also coaching my Contra Costa Jewish Day School basketball team. I was the middle school basketball coach.
Oh, nice.
So I was doing that. So I was coaching them the season was from December to March or January to March. So I was here by myself while my family were in Amsterdam. And I had to decide if I wanted to, stay and go to school or, go live with them. And I initially did actually want to go to DVC. However, I was talking to them and with my visa status and me turning 21 years old, once you turn 21 years old, you're not part of your parents' visa. So I had to get my own. And which is why I'm here on the F1 student visa, which is a whole process, which I was able, we'll talk about it, but they told me that it was better for me, an easier process and a faster process for me to apply outside of the country and then come back in versus doing the change of status when I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah. And I've heard that. I mean, I've never had to deal with a visa other than when I basically travel a little bit internationally. But so did you go to Amsterdam or?
Yes.
Okay.
So I decided, initially after finding that out, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll just go to school in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So I went to Amsterdam after the basketball season ended. It was February 2019. 26 or 28 of 20, must have been 2023, I believe. Or 2024, I don't remember. But I thought that I would be, I don't know, or we were expecting for me to get my German passport. And it took a minute because obviously we're citizens, like my which is why, by the way, we moved to Amsterdam. And additionally, my dad's sister, her family, they live there. So as you can see, we're very family oriented. I mean, the reason San Francisco and the reason Amsterdam is because of family. Very close, which is great. I love that. But they all had, my dad and my mom and my brother all had their European passports ready. So they moved. For me, I had to go and apply, and it took longer than expected. It took almost like a year, I believe, until I actually got it in hand. And by then I was thinking that I could just do the F1 visa and come back to the United States. Because I after living in Amsterdam, I liked it a lot. Like it's a great place. I may go back one day, but I realized like my home is the US, and I wanted to at least finish or go to college here and finish.
Well, and you really, and truth be told, you grew up here.
Yeah, I did, exactly.
So yeah,
it's
kind of like, you know, it's. I mean, I was born in Bakersfield, and I went back just a few years ago because we moved out of there when I was 5, and I went back and looked at the house. And I'm going, this doesn't look that big. And then I realized, well, first of all, I was 5 years old. So it's like, I mean, the house was huge, but it's, you know, I also was, you know, this tall. So, so you moved to Amsterdam, you enjoyed it. What was it? I mean, was it the culture? Was it
I didn't like, well, first of all, the weather, and not like ideally having a car. Like the weather was really rainy, very not sunny. Like if you go, you should go during the summer. It's beautiful there. Like it's literally the best over there during like, from May, June, July, like August, it's beautiful. Like the sun sets at 11 p.m. Like it's amazing. Yeah. I'm sure people know, I know a lot of people that visited there and told me that too. However, the rest of the year was very like, you know, like during the winter, it's just, and that's just Europe, right? But it was more so I'm very, as you can tell, like starting my own business, I'm very money hungry, like wanting to make money and succeed. They have that like laid back attitude in Europe, where they don't work that hard. They just like want like their work-life balance, which it's again, it's just, it wasn't for me, at least right now. I'm 22, like I'm so young, like I want to be money driven and work focused first. And then having had that, and then once you have that money, then maybe I'll go live in Europe and have a great life there. But for right now, like that work-life balance that they have, wasn't a huge fan of. And it was also just mostly the fact that I grew up here and I want to go back.
And I can see that. I mean, I'm thinking about it, and I imagine part of what drives that is that they've had, you know, just last century, they had 2 huge wars that were blowing through there, and kind of, you know, and really that part of the world, you know, it's like they've had thousands of years of, you know, somebody coming through and wiping everybody out. And so there probably reaches a point where the culture just becomes, you know what, I'm just going to worry about today. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Which again, for in my, I would love to have that in 20 years from now. Great. And I'm very fortunate to have that German passport that allows me citizenship, so I can go back anytime I want. But for right now in my life,
ambition is not a terrible thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So for right now in my life, I decided that I wanted to be here.
So now you're in Amsterdam, and so did you apply from there to go to DVC, or?
Yeah, I actually, well, it's another ridiculous story, but I filled out all the information, like with the visa and all that. I applied to DVC. I got in Amsterdam. However, it was time for me to schedule an interview at the U.S. consulate for my F1 visa. And unfortunately for me, I was trying to get it for this fall semester, because this was in June or May when I made this decision earlier this year. And the waiting time in Amsterdam was more than like 3 months. So I would have missed the fall semester deadline. So what happened was I also have my Israeli passport, obviously, and my family still live there. Like my cousins, my grandparents, everyone, you know, the aunts and uncles, they all live there. So I was like, wait, let me check the U.S. Embassy in Israel in Tel Aviv. And they had an opening a week, like 1 week from when I was looking at an opening. So I took it and I went, and this was in June, the first week of June. And I got my interview. I succeeded. I got the F1. However, as many of you guys know, on June 13th, I think I picked up my passport from the embassy with my visa June 11th or June 12th. Right. And I kid you not, 24 or 48 hours later, the Iran-Israel war happened, and they closed the airspace. So I couldn't leave. Like, they closed everything. It was a complete shutdown. It was like COVID. There were no gyms open, no public gatherings, nothing, because Iran kept, that's a different topic. But point is I was trapped. So I couldn't leave. I didn't know when the skies were going to open, and I was just waiting. And then I believe on the 23rd of June, they were releasing first come, first serve tickets at midnight. And me having the skills of buying sneakers really fast online, I was able to get on top of that, and I bought the first ticket out to Rome, Italy, and I was able to get out. But it was crazy story. And I was so fortunate that I was able to pick up my visa from the embassy 24, 48 hours before that war started, because if I did not, I wouldn't have been able to leave. Yeah, I wouldn't be here today, because I would have missed the deadline, and I also would not have been able to leave Israel, because I didn't have a passport at the time, and my passport was held at the embassy because they have to put the visa in the passport. So ridiculous story in June, this past June. So yeah, ridiculous.
So first of all, we should all be grateful. I'm saying this to you guys too, is we don't live in a war zone.
I know. Oh my God. I didn't sleep for like 2 weeks because they were at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. You had to go in the bunker, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I was going to say, what was life like in the bunker? I mean, was it
with my grandparents, with my cousins? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least you're with people you know. And
well, yeah,
like you're
sure, alone.
Yeah, alone by yourself or with a bunch of people that you've never met.
We made it.
You're gonna,
we made it fun, but
as far as
you have to exactly. Yeah. But man, it was not good. And obviously, I'm a big gym person, and I more do it for my mental health. And when I didn't have that, I was like crushed, and it was not fun. But fortunately enough, our neighbors had a home gym, so I was able to use it. I had to. I had no choice. For my mental health, I had to.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, it sounds like you're extremely driven, and so taking away something which is an outlet that burn out some energy is
my favorite thing.
Yeah. Mine is cycling, and it's just like the weather gets all ride except when it's actively raining.
So I see why you're here then in California.
Well, but I mean, it's like but it's like I'll go out, and it's like, a matter of fact, if it's damp out or if it's cold out or even if it's hot out, it's like that kind of adds to me. It's like, and we got some gorgeous areas to ride around here. It's really nice. But I get that's the outlet. It's just, there's all the things that come with it, and there's the physiological things, but it's also time to kind of reset. And so you get out, and you're probably in Rome going, phew.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
and then I was able to go back home after, but to Amsterdam, but it was
stressful.
It was, not only for my life, but also just getting out and not knowing when, literally not knowing when. And so that was, like you said, very grateful that I don't have to deal with that anymore. But yeah.
So you go from Amsterdam, you've applied at this point, right? And
I was able to, I even registered for my classes this fall before I even knew if I were to get the visa or not.
Oh, geez.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy world. But once I got the visa, I was able to know that I'm good. And I was able to enter the United States, I believe on 30 days before school started, which is like July 21st, 22nd. So I went back home in the end of June, and then I just waited the last three and a half weeks, and then I came to the US.
Yeah. So how you like DVC so far?
Honestly, I love it. I was very nervous to go back to school after 3-4 years of not going back to school. Yeah. But right now, I'm doing great. I'm on track to finish with a 4.0. It's definitely something that I didn't expect also, because I wasn't even initially when I did try in school, freshman, sophomore year of high school, I wasn't the best student. So I was very scared to come back. But it's been great so far, honestly.
I think
It's different
well, it's very different
from
because
school and
well, it's different than high school. The other thing too is you're older.
correct.
And I don't mean that to like, you're some ancient guy. I mean, that's
I'm 22.
that's my job is to like, those darn kids, but it's like also you mature a lot from, 14, 15, 16 to 22.
Yeah.
And the story that I hear constantly is like, I don't know what I was, high school, I wasn't that good of a student.
Yeah.
Get to DVC finally, or immediately or whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like the world opens up. You get classes, all of a sudden, I'm really interested in this. And it's like, I mean, you probably have a million focuses other than, you have your investment stuff. What's been your favorite subject or class or?
I would say, because I'm taking 4, English, public speaking, business law, and intro to business. And I enjoy all 4, to be honest. The English, again, because I love, essays and writing. Public speaking, because I always wanted to get better at public speaking. Because I think it's, important, especially for networking and for business.
Yes.
So there we go. So I knew when I saw that as an option for an elective class, I had to take it. And then business law is very interesting to learn more about
who's
law.
Your professor?
Mr. Miller.
Okay.
For business law. He's great. He's always makes it fun, no matter how dead it may be in terms of how many people show up or whatever. He always makes it fun. So I enjoy that class a lot to learn more about the law. And then for intro to business is when you learn every little aspect. You cover everything in business in that class, which is great. And then whatever I find most intriguing, which for me would be finance, you can deep dive in your later years of school. But to starting off as a great intro class, it's a great class. So I also been enjoying that. So
well, and the upside about it is with intro to business is a lot of it you learn the fundamentals.
Correct.
What you need. A lot of people go, I already know. And it's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. Yeah, I was one of those people where I thought I would know most of it. Through my years of my own business and investing, but there's so much more to it. I mean, I was also, marketing and all that stuff. So, I agree with that.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself? I mean, are you looking maybe, I know this is you've been back and you've been in school for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
essentially.
Literally. You're right.
And are you looking to maybe transfer at some point? Or
definitely. Because here's something that I unfortunately realize is that in California, when it comes to international students, they don't give financial aid or scholarships. However, if I go to, I really want to go to Chicago, live in Chicago.
Ooh.
Ideally, that's the end goal because it's closer to family. It's a 7.5, 8-hour flight direct from Chicago to Amsterdam.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very easy. So I was there over the summer and I loved it. And I would like to, obviously end up there. And I actually went to the transfer services yesterday, and DePaul University was one of the universities that were there from Chicago that I was interested in. And she was saying if you, they offer merit-based scholarships and to pay for half of my tuition if I maintain my 4.0. So I'm definitely going to try my best to either transfer essentially as soon as possible. So I save money because I'm paying for my own education. So I would like to, save money where I can. And obtain definitely a bachelor's degree and then potentially even master's. But again, we're talking about 4 years from now. So,
well, and the thing is a lot of times folks, my youngest kid played softball all the way through college, and going up to college, a lot of the parents, are like, oh yeah, get a scholarship, this and that, an athletic scholarship.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned is that an athletic scholarship is he allows a way to work on paying for school. Merit-based scholarships are an awesome way to learn how to pay for school. Because the thing is, it's you maintain a 4.0, which means you got to work hard and all the other stuff. Of
course. But
you're learning that skill now. But it's now you're getting a really awesome education for half price.
Yeah.
And
it's something that, but also, I did grow up here and I would like to explore the country as well. I've been around and I do enjoy living or like exploring. So it's something that's exciting, but also just closer to family, and I save money. So I figured like it's the best deal for me. But
Chicago,
I don't know where I'll go, but
Chicago, the winter's a lot like
Amsterdam. Yeah, so I'll be used to it. At least I'll have a car. Like but like it's
Well, so I think it's funny. It's like your idea of being close to family is like, oh, it's only an 8-hour flight.
Because here it's 2 stops, 14 hours.
Around here, we think of, because like if the kids grow up in California, it's just like, oh, well, 2-hour drive. Well, I don't know if that's close enough.
That's crazy.
And it's like,
because I mean, for right now, I definitely do want to live in the United States and at least finish my school here. And then after that, I can decide if I want to move back.
Well, and Chicago's a really good financial center.
That's also why. I know like that is the reason. Also a big Jewish community as well. So it's good for me.
Well, it's Skokie, Illinois. Skokie? There's a suburb outside of that. A lot of, after the Holocaust, a lot of a big, huge Jewish contingent moved there. So if you're interested in University of Chicago, you should talk to Professor Warsham.
Exactly. I would love to go there, except I know like the acceptance is very difficult.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know about that. That's not my shtick. So I would love to, as you move forward in your experience and before you travel off into the world someplace else, let's do this again.
Yeah.
Because this has been absolutely fascinating. So anything you want to end on?
Okay. Well, I'll just add to it, I guess, is that during COVID, additionally to having that time off with my business and investing, I was actually able to lose 150 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
You did not?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was always
see, most of us during COVID put it on.
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying is that in 22, I was always overweight growing up because my diet was really off, but it was kind of like always offset due to me playing basketball. So I was just, I was like 15 pounds overweight, 20 pounds overweight. However, because of COVID, there was no sports and it was just staying at home eating. So I gained like over 100 pounds. So I'm 6'1" right now. I was 350 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
I got up to that point and now I'm 180, 175. So I basically cut myself, in half. And
so you are half the man that you used to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Crazy story, but
so
it
how
took
did
me
you
two and a half years. Yeah. Self-discipline. I mean, as you know, like I have that drive for making money. So I obviously had that drive for fitness and health, but I would say baby steps. Like I didn't even step a foot into a gym until I was under 300. Cause I was just like, I think around the first 100 pounds, I actually did not start lifting weights. I wish I did, obviously from the beginning. But I basically really did tons of research on nutrition and, the importance of, activity and protein and all the different aspects of that. Again, we don't really have much time to deep.
Well, but it's like that's the thing.
Deep dive, but essentially from 2021 until like mid 2023, I would say is when I took that weight, got that weight off, and I did it like sustainably. You have to make it to a lifestyle, something that I still do now. Keep it with me for the rest of my life. I would say restrictive at first, but then I learned that it's all about balance. Yeah. And so now I've kind of mastered that, which is great. But it took a long time. Like mentally, it was a crazy mental battle, especially when I would see my family eat, junk food. And then my friends would want to go out and eat junk food. And I would just have to say no, or I would have to go with them and literally watch them eat greasy hamburgers and fries while I ate nothing. Or I ate my chicken breast and broccoli. So it was a lot of, but it's battling with yourself at the end of the day. Cause everyone knows what you need to do. Okay, maybe not everyone, but for the majority of people, what you need to do. It's just a matter of if you do it. And one of my dreams as well is to have a coaching program where I help people lose weight. Cause I know all of the issues. I helped my brother also lose 150 pounds.
Wow.
Okay. I'll show you pictures before and after. It is incredible what he has done and how I helped him with that. And, yeah, I mean, as the older brother, I had to do it first, and then he saw that it was possible, and I obviously helped him all I could, and he's great now.
Well, and you that actually exemplifies. So one of the reasons Richard Simmons, who's I think he's passed away at this point, but he was a very successful diet and exercise guru decades ago before it was fashionable. And a lot of it was because he had done the deal, this is how he did it, and none of it was hardcore anything. It was just, again, it was like a balanced
consistency
diet to you and it was just moving and stuff like that. And so it wasn't like, I mean, you're playing, well, I'm sure basketball's a lot easier at your current weight than it was at.
Correct. And I was still playing basketball at 300 pounds. Though. That's
really?
Yeah, just because I still love it. Like it was, I mean, granted, I was just in the corner shooting threes. I wasn't really moving, but I was still playing and I was still out there.
Actually, you probably could have posted up in the middle and it's like, no.
Yeah, but I was, good point. But I for me, it was always like the threes. So I was just standing in the corner. But yeah, it was more so about like, hey, the time's going to go by anyway, regardless of if I like it or not. You might as well do something little every day or just like stay consistent, because consistency, just like how I didn't gain all that weight in one day, you're not going to lose all that weight in one day. So it's all about making it sustainable and these like little changes over a prolonged amount of time and staying in that calorie deficit for as much as you can. And yeah.
So if somebody's looking to start their journey, what's the first 2 things that you would suggest?
I would suggest drinking a lot of water. If you drink any drinks that have calories, I would like immediately liquid calories in terms of like sugary sodas or even just coffee with a lot of sugar and milk. Like you do not, that saves a lot of calories. Like just from that. Also sauces, people don't know how much calories are in butter, oil, and sauces, like ranch, barbecue sauce, like, if you're eating out like Chick-fil-A sauce, like all these things have so much calories in them that if you just take those out, you would start losing weight I would say for the majority of people that want to start. That is great. Also walking, for me, I played golf. I started playing golf because it was pretty much the only sport that was available. And I lost my first 50 pounds just by doing that.
By playing golf
and just walking. It was walking. It was
okay.
Walking.
So you didn't get a cart and you did
no.
Okay.
No. It's walking and getting your steps in. It's something that you can do that's not physically draining on your body. Something that you can do every day, no matter what. Even if it's like 10 minutes after you eat a meal, just like anything like that, just moving your body like that will create a deficit. So I would say walking, and then evaluating like just the liquid calories and all these other switches that you can make to your diet. Obviously, I would obviously have a meeting with this person and see what they, what their diet is. So,
well, and it sounds like, I mean, the one thing that for instance, I drink water and I've gotten rid of pretty much all the other sugar drinks. And, I drink my coffee black just because,
me too.
Of
course. Me too.
And that was actually a move too. And I lost, I think just by doing that and cycling more, I think I lost probably about 20 pounds.
Yeah, there we go.
And and now I got to lose the rest of it, So it's better to lose it at your age than my age.
Of course, it's much easier. Really hard. I know.
So
I know. Yeah, and then it's also like I realized that as much as I would like to think that it's not, but it is like 90% of it is your diet compared to your exercise. Like you can never out exercise a bad diet. Unless you full on like train like 2-3 hours a day. Which
I was going to say, unless you're doing a triathlon every day.
Then you can out train a bad diet maybe. But even then, like you're not going to feel your best. Like I also realized like eating these foods and learning about like the micronutrients and like the vitamins and minerals that you get from these foods, from whole foods, just compared to like the junk and processed foods that everyone, eats now, like your mind becomes much clearer and less foggy. And maybe that's why I'm doing better at school. Because when I was in high school, I was eating shit. So like, of course, like my mind and mental fogginess, like I would have mental fogginess and, be depressed and all that. And it was not good. But versus now, when you start eating these clean foods, you just feel so much better mentally as well as physically. And I learned a lot of the science behind it all. So it's very, when it comes to nutrition. So
Well, I appreciate you coming in, and we're here in the fishbowl, you know. Well, no, this is a great room. It's just like and I think you're going to do great. I mean, it's like you've already shown that you have the discipline to be able to kind of apply yourself in a lot of places. And I think that's half the battle, is just sticking to it. So, well, thank you very much. And yes, let's do this again before you go floating off into to DePaul or University of Chicago or wherever you end up at. Because I think it'll be a lot of fun to see kind of like how it goes from there.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Of course.
Thank you. Tuning in to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next, the podcast for the DVC Alumni Association. You can contact us at alumni@dvc.edu with any comments, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our podcast.